A two-alarm garage fire, then a series of explosions on Bowdoin Street in Arlington, as billowing smoke can be seen for miles. Arlington fire crews frantically work to save nearby homes. ACMi News was on the scene when crews first arrived. We'll have the latest on the heavy fire damage, and we take a look at what remains the day after. Still, some unanswered questions regarding that proposed 50-room hotel and restaurant planned for this site along Mass Ave. This as the architect presents a building design update. We'll have the very latest. Some Arlington High School trivia whiz kids take to the TV airwaves to compete in the arena of random knowledge. We take you behind the scenes with a look at just how they deal with some of the toughest, brain-breaking questions. And do you want to remain in good standing with your significant other this Valentine's Day? We have just the solution for you to stay on their good side. Or you can spend the next 365 days sleeping on the couch.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
The investigation continues into a two-alarm blaze in Arlington this week. Hello, I'm Tyler Valancourt.
And I'm Anim Osmani. Arlington firefighters and crews from 3 other municipalities rushed to the scene on Bowdoin Street. This after a series of explosions in the residential community. And ACMi News was on scene just as fire crews arrived. Here's ACMi News Director Jeff Barnd.
The two-alarm garage fire on Bowdoin Street broke out in the late afternoon hours of February the 4th. ACMi News was on scene when just a few yards away, a very powerful explosion caught on camera destroyed the detached garage.
The garage was totally consumed with fire, totally consumed. There were, my guess, probably 5 explosions during the fire. You know, it could be gas cans, propane tanks, miscellaneous aerosol cans, anything like that. So yeah, there was at least 5 explosions while this was going on.
Firefighters from Medford, Somerville, and Cambridge also arrived on scene and quickly closed off parts of Bowdoin Street. Deputy Chief Ryan says the fire had the possibility of spreading to 2 nearby homes and another garage.
First thing we did was protect the 2 houses in the other garage to make sure those didn't burn. And then as we kept those safe, we moved in and we put the fire out in the garage. The whole garage was consumed by fire. On the way down here, it was clear. You could see that it was a major fire. 2 houses were damaged, possibly 3. But due to the quick response from my guys, they put the fire out on the houses first, and then they focused on the garage.
And when fire crews approach a garage fire like this, with a possibility of so many flammables being stored, this is where intense training pays off.
We use our hose lines and we keep distance. The hose lines can, spray, quite a distance away. So we stayed back and put as much water in as we could. We also used what we call a ladder pipe. It's the ladder truck. The ladder truck extended up probably 100 feet in the air and then shot down directly on top of the fire. That was what really helped us put the fire out.
Firefighters say there were no injuries and no one was displaced. By 6 p.m., the fire was put out and Bowdoin Street was reopened. For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnd.
Still no word on a cause. Deputy Chief Chip Ryan says the investigation is ongoing.
Meantime, here's a look at the damage on the day after. You can see the intense heat stripped away the shingles on the side of one nearby home. Shingles actually melted at the house next door. The garage where the blaze may have started is nothing but a charred shell. And you can't see it from this angle, but there's a car in the garage that's been destroyed with debris scattered everywhere. And next to the garage, the remains of the storage shed that sustained heavy fire damage. And as you can see, fire tape cordoning off the area as the investigation is ongoing. Just about 8 weeks from now, voters will take to the polls for Arlington's annual town election set for April 4th. There are 4 candidates for Select Board and the school committee. For the Select Board, Joseph Curran took out papers last month. Sean Harrington, Diane Mahan, and Leonard Diggins also took out papers for 2 3-year seats. Mr. Diggins works as a production operations assistant here at ACMi. For school committee, Richard Fields took out papers late last month, as did Elizabeth Exton. Incumbents seeking 3-year terms are Bill Hayner and Paul Schlickman. And finally, for town clerk, Janice Weber, Patty Brennan-Sautel, and Juliana Brazil all took out papers in December for the 3-year town clerk seat.
Many more questions to be answered on that 50-room boutique hotel and restaurant plan for Mass Avenue, the current site of an automotive business, and the Disabled American Veterans Building. The redevelopment board waived part of the special permit fee earlier this week on the plan for this site. This, as the architect presented a building design update, while some of the roughly 50 residents at the senior center meeting raised concerns. Recent design changes to the proposed Lexington Hotel include significant changes to the facade to make it appear more residential. Cast stone in the lower levels, brickwork in other levels, setting back the upper floors, which will consist of 22 hotel rooms, and solar arrays on the rooftop. The board is now asking for more information on topography, a parking plan, and a thorough review on traffic flow. The public will again have an opportunity to express their issues at a March 16 redevelopment meeting.
What was the ship that came to the rescue of the Titanic survivors? Where did George Washington take the oath of office? Arlington High School trivia buffs took to the TV airwaves to test their random knowledge on WGBH's high school quiz show.
It's the second time AHS made it this far. ACMi Assistant News Director Brenda Mahoney goes behind the scenes to find out just what makes the team tick.
Capital Fiji. Suva.
Burkina Faso.
Ouagadougou.
Quizzing each other on country capitals, not just a pastime for these Arlington High Schoolers.
Arlington High School.
It's a full-on sport that has landed them on TV, competing against others on WGBH's high school quiz show.
3, 2, 1. Perfect, thank you.
Star treatment and social media fame aside, these kids are most excited just to answer what they know.
I've always known things, random things, and I never thought it would be put to use.
It's you learn a lot of things through your education and school, and when you can apply it on a show like this, it's really cool.
And making trivia smarts popular, not lost on local pop culture media personality and quiz show host Billy Costa.
What Russian leader was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1990 for his efforts to end the Cold War?
Mikhail Gorbachev.
Yes.
I always remember when I first got the call asking me if I would host the show. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I'm an interesting choice. A lot of the questions, I'll go back in the green room and I'll say, oh, I knew that answer, but I just can't get it out that fast. That's what amazes me about these young people. It's really cool to be smart, and I think it's really about time.
AHS has had a bit of a dry spell here, getting qualified for the high school quiz show at GBH. Ed Foley, he's been the coach with them for 10 years of the students through the years, and he says what's happened this year is really just the right mix of students.
It feels great. I'm glad to be back, and I'm just excited for these guys because it's going to be a special experience for them. And we're also excited to have so much support from the Arlington community.
Very excited for the team, for Arlington this year. We haven't been in it in a long time, so.
I think it's awesome just to keep kids motivated and to really, celebrate intelligence.
And what these students think they are getting out of this spotlight on knowledge is no tricky answer.
Just enjoying each other's company and sharing knowledge, maybe flexing on each other a bit.
Brenda Mahoney, ACMi News.
High school quiz show will air on Saturday, February 15th at 6 p.m. on WGBH2. Viewing parties are encouraged. Send us your video at news.acmi.tv or tag us on social media at ACMi News.
This is the second time AHS has made it this far, one of 17 high school teams taking part in the elimination round set to air this week. Incidentally, George Washington was sworn in as president in New York City, and it was the Carpathia that picked up the survivors from the Titanic disaster in the North Atlantic. ACMi was delighted to welcome a remarkable young social activist to Studio A recently. The topic? gender identity. Noah Stang Osborne says many of us can brush up on our awareness of inclusion. Stang Osborne has given speeches and served on panels in this area to address these issues and is encouraged by so many residents wanting to learn more so that no one feels marginalized. Public Affairs host James Milan sat down with them on a recent segment of our Public Affairs program, Driving Forces.
Asking someone can be awkward, and in a lot of situations, there's no real reason for you to know someone's gender. You don't really need to know the gender of the person making your coffee. You can use they, them pronouns for them, and you can move on. But if you're friends with someone, or if you're dating someone, you would want to know their gender and their pronouns, and you would want to make them comfortable.
What are the things that you, as an activist steeped within the community, would like somebody who knows very little to nothing about these issues, what are the first things that you would want such a person to understand?
I think one of the most important things is that you can't tell someone's gender by looking at them. There's no way to know except by asking. And that's a hard concept for a lot of people because we think, oh, you know, if you identify as a man, you should look in a way that I can identify you as a man. But there's no one way to be a man or a woman or a non-binary person. And I think that's very important.
It was very illuminating to speak with Noah. And if you want to know more, you can watch the full interview on our website. Just go to acmi.tv and click on Public Affairs.
Hard to believe Valentine's Day is next week. It's the day where either Cupid hits the bullseye or the day you start sleeping on the couch. Of course, Valentine flowers are always a great idea.
ACMi News intern Bainey Wong went to Derby Farm Flowers and Gardens on Mass Ave to find out just how much power flowers have when you can't quite muster the right combination of words to express yourself.
Derby Farm, since 1999, is one of those local florists in Arlington that's preparing your order.
So Valentine's Day is exciting because there's so much going on, but it can feel a little overwhelming. We start early, and we've done a lot of prep the days before.
Lucinda has been working in Derby Farm since 2015, but it's her first year as an owner. Recently, she's busy answering phone calls and taking orders. With her partner Sonia, they designed 4 types of special bouquet just for February 14th.
For Valentine's Day, we have to change our buying a little bit just because of the quantity we do. So in advance, we design 4 beautiful palettes that people can choose from for Valentine's Day with specialty flowers. So the roses, along with tulips, are another flower that you'll see in every arrangement this year. And we've also chosen sweet peas as one of our flowers that we're going to highlight this year.
Floral holidays such as Valentine's Day and Mother's Day usually boost the store sale. But that also means some extra work for Lucinda and Sonia.
We're going to be working back here and making lots of flower arrangements as quickly as we can. So it makes me a little nervous, but I'm excited too because it's all been a learning process for me.
The store also have an online website where customers can see the variety selections and make appointments.
So we're always looking at things, trying to find things that are special to this store because that's part of what Derby Farm is.
Aside from flowers, you can also get your loved ones chocolate, jewelry, and gift cards. But it's best to looking for gifts early as Valentine's Day is approaching. For ACMi News, I'm Bainey Wong.
Do you consider yourself a hopeless romantic? Do you like music? Did you give your significant other flowers last year and want to change things up? Then don't get the usual everyday run-of-the-mill garden variety box of chocolates or a tacky Snuggie with hearts on it. No, get your significant other a singing Valentine.
Do, 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 happy holiday.
The holidays are over, but just listen to the marvelous sounds of Vocal Revolution, the highest-ranking barbershop chorus in New England. They helped us ring in the holidays with our holiday lighting in December. This ensemble of students, doctors, and engineers returned to Studio A singing a familiar ditty you may have heard once or twice, and they did it with a 360-degree camera.
Goodbye gray skies, hello blue, nothing can hold me when I hold you. Feels so right, can't be wrong, rockin' and rollin' all week long. days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Grooving all week with you. Happy days. These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and mine. Oh, happy days.
If you want to please your better half this Valentine's Day and can't carry a tune in a suitcase packed tightly in a moving truck, Vocal Revolution would deliver a singing Valentine in the form of a quartet to a person of your choice for Valentine's Day. Just go to their website for more info, vocalrevolution.org, for all the details. There are many activities taking place at Arlington High School in the new year, in the midst of the winter season.
And we have all your Arlington High School action, so let's turn it over to Studio B.
Welcome back, Arlington sports lovers, as we begin to wind down the winter season. Great news from the pit this season, as the boys have managed to take recent wins against Tingsboro, Essex North Tech, and Belmont.
And with a final score of 53-4, Arlington gets the victory. And ladies and gentlemen, this means here we have your back-to-back Middlesex League champions.
Congratulations to the boys in the pit for another league title, 2 years in a row. The boys on the ice are pushing forward with an extraordinarily strong season, coming away with wins against Reading and Woburn. BC High also paid a visit to Eddie Burns Arena for an exciting matchup of two of the biggest teams in the state. The boys left the evening with a tie, thanks to a late third-period goal from Dominic Leosa.
Leosa sends it behind the net, comes back out to Leosa with a... Let's go! Dominic Leosa! And we got a tie ball game.
The girls on the ice came home with a win against Woburn this week, and will be back on the road to match up against Lexington on Saturday. Boys basketball welcomed Burlington on the court this week for another tight game that went to overtime. Burlington put in a buzzer beater to take the win. On the other hand, the girls on the court took a 58-50 win against Burlington on the road, officially claiming their position in the tournament. You can catch the girls back on the home court on Friday at 7. That's all for this week's edition of Sports Update. I'm Nick Antonakis. Back to you at Studio A.
Thanks as always, guys, and don't forget to stay with us for all your latest news and sports updates. And that'll do it for us here at Studio A. I'm Tyler Valancourt.
And I'm Animo Espani. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.